Hey, welcome back to Business 101, Introduction to Business. And here we are in lecture number 2 in our series on chapter 10 of the text, looking at the topic of marketing. And in this video, as you can see from the title, we are looking at marketing management now and beyond. So the first thing that we look at in this particular chapter of the text is the concept of relationship marketing. And really what we're talking about here is a strategy. It's a plan that emphasizes building lasting relationships with customers and suppliers. And you have to ask yourself, emphasizes building lasting relationships over what? What's the other alternatives? Well, the other alternatives in marketing might be to spend an enormous amount of time, resources, and energy simply convincing customers to buy once. But rather than that, relationship marketing emphasizes building the relationship, a lasting relationship based on customer loyalty that creates repeat purchases, that creates referral marketing, that creates the kind of loyalty where customers are so delighted with your product, service, and with your company that they tell others about how it's the only way to solve this problem. It's the only thing that really works. It's the best thing I've spent money on in the last 6 months. Gee, how I really love this microwave, or the way this refrigerator has exceeded my expectations, or how this automobile, hey, I'll never buy anything except this brand. This is all part of the concept of relationship marketing versus, sales or revenue marketing. And if that's what we're really looking to do in marketing, building lasting relationships, then that brings us to the second bullet point, customer relationship management, or CRM. Some of you may be familiar with CRM software. For instance, cloud software like Salesforce.com, which is a product which allows selling organizations to manage their customer relationships. But what is a customer relationship? Well, customer relationship management means organized methods that a firm uses to build better information connections with clients so that stronger company-client relationships are developed. Now, this can mean, and it does mean, many things grouped together. For instance, if you think of the sales cycle, starting with the initial contact with someone who is just a prospect. In other words, you're contacting them to try to tell them about this product or service that you believe they need. They may not even know it yet, but first contact, they're just a prospect. At some point along the way, a prospect becomes a pre-sales inquiry. They may express some level of interest. They want more information. They're curious, but they're not quite sure how this works with their existing workflow. In other words, they have some level of interest in your product or service, but they haven't purchased yet. That's part of CRM as well. Finally, when that pre-purchase prospect turns into an actual sale, that sales event needs to be managed as well. How do they purchase from you? Do they need to have a sales order filled out? Do they need to be put in touch with financing? Do they need to be put in touch with operations? How do they pay you? This is also part of the relationship to be managed. As well as, once they have finally purchased and start using your product, what about post-sales support? How can you make sure that they are using your product to the fullest? Is there additional information on how to use it that they need? To integrate it with their existing products or services they already use, to use more of the features that you offer in ways they haven't yet imagined. Warranty support. An additional purchase, they want to buy another unit or another license. All of this is part of the customer relationship. And as you can see, even in broad brush strokes, these are all aspects of the relationship which need to be managed. You need to have data on, when was the last time a salesperson contacted this particular client? What was the exact date of their sale, and how many times have they contacted warranty support? What was the latest complaint that they may have had with the product that needed to be rectified? These are all aspects of data, information, dealing with the connections you have with your clients. All of this needs to be managed in CRM. And this, of course, leads to our last bullet point on this slide, the whole aspect of data warehousing, the collection, storage, and timely retrieval of that data in electronic files in ways that are useful to the various players and departments and divisions within your company that are doing customer relationship management on a day-to-day basis. You can see now how these three things are integrated together, and especially pointing to our need to manage information. Now, if you do that well, it can lead us to personalized marketing. And this is why this slide is titled From the Many to the One. And many of us are familiar with this, right? This kind of thing where perhaps we have just gone through a series of web searches on Google, looking for information about a product we're thinking of purchasing, and then bang, what pops up in our social media feed? Advertisements targeting that very thing we were looking at. That's weird. I was looking at buying socks last week, and all of a sudden, all I'm getting at Facebook are ads for socks. Well, how is that done? It's done through personalized marketing. No longer marketing to the many, but very targeted marketing to the one. Through, as you see there, the second point on this slide, the analysis of big data about your individual history, preferences, the data trail that you are leaving on the web, and that enables point 3, immediate customization of messaging based on these breadcrumbs that you're leaving of data all over the web. This, of course, is the artful and timely manipulation of data. We may not really like it. We may not like what that sort of suggests about our lack of privacy and how everyone is listening to everything we have to say into our web-connected devices. But this is the truth of marketing today now in 2020 and beyond. Finally, once we get past the rudiments of what marketing is meaning now and in the future, just some ways here on this slide that marketing continues to change and evolve, especially of note to those of you who may be contemplating a future career or future study with a marketing major. With a major in marketing, what you will begin to see is some things we've already noticed in business, like people increasingly don't trust established brands. Rather, they trust influencers. In fact, latest studies show that most consumers wouldn't care if 73% of the existing brands that we have in the world today disappeared and disappeared for good. We don't trust them anyway. They're tired. They're for our parents. But for us, we prefer something different. We prefer to be referred to these products from people we admire and trust. We also have seen more and more so, people crave emotions and experiences. Increasingly, a cynical buying public does not like the superficial. We prefer stories, narratives about real humans and how product has affected real humans. And in this, we want an emotional experience, and one of the direct connections to emotions for most people is the artful use of music. Music, of course, is a very subjective topic, but nevertheless, the more that we're able to leverage and integrate music into our stories and messaging, the more effective our marketing will be. Finally, the last bullet point, while we may complain and decry the invasion of our privacy, we really do want customized marketing. We want one-on-one, one-to-one, unique, personalized engagements. We want things to work on our terms. We want things to integrate into our lives on our terms. And we want all these products and services to integrate with the apps we use on our devices. These are all true aspects now of where marketing is going. And you can sort of see as we build on the foundation of relationship marketing and its leaning upon, its reliance upon big data, you can see how that has enabled these kinds of things to happen in the world of marketing and why these have become important topics and concepts for us now and in the future. Hope this all makes sense as we continue to take a good hard look what does marketing mean for us in 2020 and beyond? We'll see you in the next lecture.